good solid debate and discussion on an issue of national importance. Today also, sir, we've taken up an issue of this short duration discussion on the farmers, and as we heard this morning that there's also a calling attention motion which has been admitted on the flood-like situation in many states. Also, it's raining very heavily in Bengal. So the DVC, those sluice gates are being opened. So because of that opening also, there's a lot of damage being caused. So thank you, sir, for allowing us to take this issue up. Sir, let me begin. I was trying to find out where should we begin? What should we make the benchmark here? So I thought the best benchmark here to make, and is to quote, is the BJP manifesto of 2014. Let's not think what happened before that, what happened 10 years ago. There were two quotes. I've started reading the BJP manifesto now. It's very, it's good to read because then you get to know what were the promises made and where we are today. So page 25, within 3 years, page 25, increase profits of farmers up to 50% over the input costs. BJP manifesto, page 25. Next one is also on page 25. Strengthen and expand the rural credit facilities. So through today, I'll try and tell you where we've reached in the last, or where the BJP government have reached in the last 3 years. And since I was reading the BJP manifesto, you'd pardon me if I also read the Trinamool manifesto of 2011. And where have we reached in 6 years in Bengal? Sir, someone has been, the speaker from the BJP said we never appreciate. The opposition is forever opposing. And the government, we don't appreciate. We appreciate the government because for the last 5 years, the Krishi Karman Award given by the central government for food grain production, coarse grain production has come to my state, Bengal. So thank you very much for that award. Sir, the income of the farmers, these are hard numbers. Income of farmers from 2010 promise made to 2016 now in my state, Bengal, for an annual income of 91,000 has now moved up to a little over 2 lakhs. These are hard numbers, sir. And interestingly, the opening speaker, my colleague Digvijay ji, and the speaker from Madhya Pradesh of the BJP, both spent some time on the Jhaji from Madhya Pradesh, Digvijay ji from Madhya Pradesh. Yeah, they both spent some time on the Fasal Yojana, the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Yojana. They both spent some time and trying to explain that. I would request both Madhya Pradesh and everywhere else, you look at the Bengal model, which nobody has tried. It's working very well in Bengal. Here's the model. The farmer gives, sir, you are aware of this, the agricultural minister is here, we've discussed this also informally with him. The farmer gives 50%, the government gives 50%, that is the share of the government and the state government. But what is unique in Bengal, the farmer does not give ek rupya bhi farmer nahi deta. Pura state government deta, baki central government. I'm happy and appreciate that the agriculture minister is nodding and that this residual money is also picked up by the farmer. So rather than doing a tutu meme on Madhya Pradesh, you know, this is a good model and I would urge many more states to follow this model. Sir, there has been a lot of talk and it is good that we should also have something on the table. Sir, I certify that the contents are correct and they are based on authentic information. Sir, because it doesn't matter which state, it doesn't matter which party is ruling the state, that's not important. This is what we believe is an authentic list of 90 farmers who committed suicide. So we've got the state, we've got the name, we've got the age, and we've got the reason for the suicide. Sir, so these farmers are taken taken care of. Sir, I would like to place this on the table. In the morning before I came here, I had these documents authenticated. Sir, they do this for many reasons, and we don't have the time to go into whether it's psychological reasons because they can't pay back the debt, or because of they don't have enough counseling. Sir, and it's been a reasonably good monsoon compared to the last 2 years of drought. And we are very well aware that India is so dependent on the monsoon, because when it comes to water capacity also, sir, to America has about 2,000 cubic C, China has about 2,000, Russia has about 6,000. Where are we, sir? We are at 200 cc, and this has not happened in the last 4 years. This has been happening for a period of time. So we need to address this issue, sir. Now let's come to the issue of the great announcement of demonetization. In fact, I was quite intrigued by what the speaker from the BJP said, Jhaji. He said, naam badal gaya. Yes, naam badal gaya, lekin kaam badal gaya. That's a question we have to ask, sir. Because otherwise, when this country thought they voted for a game changer, I'm sure this country doesn't only want a name changer. Sir, on the cashless economy, sir, the hard facts here, what did the farmers do? Whether it was in eastern UP, whether it was in Gujarat, in Rajasthan, what did they do? They went back to the old system because there was no cash available. They went back to the barter system, sir. Because and the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh had to appeal to traders to pay at least half in cash. Sir, if you look at what the RBI called the fire sale of crops, and you compare potato, tomato and onion of last year to this year, whether you do it in Kolar in Karnataka, whether you do it in Farrukhabad in UP, whether you do it in Lalsagaon in Maharashtra, whether it's potato, tomato and onion, sir, all prices have shown a considerable drop. Sir, everyone talked about the MSP. Everyone talked about the MSP. Sir, let me make a specific recommendation to the minister on MSP. And I go back to a colleague of ours who would sit here, and he was an inspirational colleague, MS Swaminathan ji, who was the nominated member. Sir, there is too much of talk happening on MSP. Here's a hard suggestion coming from the Trinamool Congress. Sir, what did Swaminathan ji say? He says, if you look at the minimum support price, how do you calculate this minimum support price? Sir, let us say, if you take let us say you call this C, for want of a better term, you call it C. So you take the seed cost, all the input costs. You take the seed cost, you take the labor wages, you take all the agro practices, you take the insecticides, the pesticides. You put it all together and you call it C. Let's say that costs 1,000 rupees. Then he suggests, which we agree, the MSP must be C2. So if 1,000 rupees is the input cost, you need to arrive at C2 plus all expenses is 50%, then it becomes 1,500 rupees. Sir, this is a hard number which we are suggesting. We have done it in a different way in Bengal, because we've done this through actually paying for the farmers part of the premium. I don't want to re-elaborate the point which Digvijay brought up and Ram Vilas ji brought up on the Ram Gopal Yadav ji brought up that the insurance and the claims of farmers. Sir, in the Fasal Bima Yojana, and I'm saying this is not a problem in Bengal because the state is covering for you, but in the rest of the country, claims paid to farmers is less than 2,000 crores out of the 6,000. And the Agriculture Minister must look at these, sir. Sir, no discussion on farmers' rights. Because today I had a lot of rhetoric from the Speaker of the BJP. We will do this, we will do this, we will do this. Fine, we wish you luck. But I want to tell you what was done for farmers. And I will be failing in my duty if I do not recall in at least 1 minute the historic 2006 Shingu agitation for farmers. That is truly fighting for farmers' rights. When a big corporate company like Tata, in association with all the media houses, wanted to snatch 1,000 acres away from farmers. 600 acres owned by farmers who are willing to give their land without being forced by this company. But Mamta Di and the Trinamool Congress said the 400 acres, the unwilling farmers must not, their land must not be snatched away, sir. So we all know what happened in 2006, and we all must remember what happened after that. In December 2006, one lady, 26 days, hunger strike, one objective, save the Indian farmer. And that is why we are glad, since then, a lot of the land movement and the way we look at land, that has also changed, sir. So we must, and what has happened? We said this, okay, everyone said political, we are making a political point. Sir, we were saying that in 2006. And no less a body than the Supreme Court of India. The Supreme Court of India, in historic judgment on the 31st of August last year, passed this judgment that the 400 acres of land which was usurped from the farmer had to be given back to the farmer. And there is now farming happening there, sir. So this is not rhetoric, but I thought this was an appropriate moment to make some constructive suggestions to the government to see how one or two states in India are using models which are different. 3, to acknowledge the history and the contribution made by people who have been part of this movement and having been launching, they're not launching either television channels or changing names. Sir, because 60 years ago, almost to the day, Mother India was launched, the film. Now we are coming 60 years because it was launched in 57. And now we are coming to 2017, sir. So we talk about bullet trains, smart cities, Kisan channels, but the life of the farmer is still the same. Thank you, sir.
Shri MP Veerendra Kumar. Okay.
Chairman, I would like to start
15
with the
minutes.
newspaper report.
5 minutes. Yes,
Children
yes.
and widows of farmers from Maharashtra gathered Jantar Mantar to demand loan waivers and fixing of standard prices. A 13-year-old Pallavi Pava, with an unmoved expression on her face, said, "I wish no parent does what my father did to me. At least think about your children before you decide to end your life." It was around a decade ago that Pallavi's father, a farmer in Maharashtra, Jalagaon, decided to commit suicide, leaving behind his wife and 4 children. She said, "I don't remember his face clearly, but there are moments that flash before my eyes." Pallavi was one of the over 40 children and widows of farmers from drought-hit Maharashtra who had gathered at Jantar Mantar. They had joined the ongoing Kisan Mukti Yatra, as part of which farmers have demanded loan waivers and fixing of standard prices for their produce. Children dressed in white narrated tales of personal grief, as placards reading, "Suicide is not the answer. Save our farmers." The stories of these families were a grim reminder of how farmer suicides in India might just be numbers for city dwellers, but are harsh reality for children and women living in the rural belt, something they see almost every day because of governmental apathy. Agrarian suicides are a shameful feature on India's social scene. Central government itself submitted before the Supreme Court that there were 12,000 farmers suicide per year. There are statistics to show that 3.18 lakhs of farmers had committed suicide during the last 21 years. Demonetization also contributed to farm crisis. Farm incomes crashed and farmer distress mounted, and compounding already high suicide rates because of mass indebtedness. Though some states have decided to waive off the farm loans, the central government has not supported any of the states. There is an argument that there will be a big crisis in financial sector if we waive loans. According to Public Accounts Committee of the Parliament, the non-performing assets of the country is 6 lakhs crores. 70% of this is in corporate sector. Only 1% is in the agrarian sector. Big corporates are given crores and crores of loans from public sector banks. Big names in Indian corporates are given to the tune of 2 lakhs crores as loans from public sector. But the loan waivers for the farmers amount to less than this massive loot. And these loans to corporates had been for a minimal interest. How many crores of rupees we lost in the scams? I don't want to give the numbers here, as there is no time. You will get loans on low interest to buy a luxury car. Bank staff will come to your house, complete the formalities. But for a farmer to buy a tractor, which is for his livelihood, has to give 10 to 12% of interest on loan. And for that, he will have to spend weeks and months with the bank people. And for a poor woman who wants to buy a goat, she will have to bear huge interest in microfinance. I should say that central government is ignoring the agricultural sector. Centrally sponsored schemes have been reduced. During the last 12th five-year plan, the allocation for the agricultural sector was 1.8 lakh crores rupees, 1.8 lakh crores. The same amount was spent for the development of Terminal 3 of the Delhi International Airport. Central government is destroying the cooperative sector, which has been helpful to poor farmers to an extent. Demonetization was extremely harmful to the cooperative sector. Arvind Subramanian, Chief Economic Advisor of the government, has already advised to waive off the arrears of corporate loans. At the same time, our so-called experts refuse to support farm loan waive-off. 2017-18 central budget has allocated to agricultural sector rupees 10 lakh crores only. But certain studies indicate that small farmers is getting only 8% of this allocation. 75% is availed by the big farmers, that too at the rate of 3% interest. Free trade agreements with Asian countries affect the agrarian sector of India dangerously. Many of the cash crops in Kerala, as well as the dairy sector, are vulnerable to imports surges triggered by the lowering of trade tariffs. India's global-centered policy has brought loss to this country than gains. Import of rice, palm oil, tea, coffee, pepper, fish and rubber from Asian countries has become a challenge to our farm economy. There is an allegation that US, Japan and certain other countries are excusing their producers into India through Asian countries, exploiting the free trade agreements. Import of milk products from Australia and New Zealand has increased enormously after the withdrawal of import barriers. Private companies and multinationals have imported milk powder and converted it to milk. This has brought crisis into cooperative milk societies and to small cattle farmers. More concessions to import duty will cause more suicides among them. 92% of our rural farmers' income depend on cattle farming. Free trade agreements, because low production in labor-intensive sectors, it will cause massive unemployment in those sectors, which naturally will lead to suicides among farm labor. During free trade agreements, government should seek the opinion of the state governments on products to be put in the negative lists. With the introduction of GST, some 13 cesses, including Krishi Kalyan, are withdrawn. It is assumed that there will be a revenue loss of 65,000 crores of rupees to the central exchequer. Central exchequer had gained rupees 9,000 crores through Krishi Kalyan cess last year. By the withdrawal of Krishi Kalyan cess, center will find difficult to find fund for the farmers' welfare activities. Losses to the farmers due to GST had to be evaluated and taken necessary steps to compensate it. I go back to Pallavi's tears and pray the government to take steps to wipe off the tears from farmers' eyes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Sri Veerendra Kumar ji.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. It was your maiden speech that you completed within the allotted time. Thank you very much. Sri K.K. Ragesh.
Thank you, sir.
Now, one second. I want to tell the honorable members, some members are coming and asking whether they will speak tomorrow. No, this discussion will be concluded today. No question tomorrow. Yes, please. Sir.
Thank you, sir. Sir, we are discussing this issue of farmer suicide and agrarian distress. At a time when farmers are organizing a lot of agitations, be it in Tamil Nadu, be it in Madhya Pradesh, in Maharashtra and elsewhere. Sir, at the very outset, I am requesting the honorable members sitting there to go through their own election manifesto. Sir, the NDA's election manifesto suggests, clearly states that, I quote, agriculture is the engine of India's economic growth and the largest employer, and BJP commits highest priority to agriculture growth, increase in farmers' income and rural development. Sir, unfortunately, today, the engine which has been depicted here, the engine has been breakdown. That is what happened. Sir, lot of promises are being made in their election manifesto. As already explained here, 50% profit over and above the cost of production, cheaper input and higher technologies for agriculture, farming, and also high yielding seeds, linking MNREG with agriculture, price stabilization funds, and many more. Sir, if at least 20% of these promises are being met, sir, we should have certainly avoided the present devastating situation so far as the agriculture sector is concerned. Sir, yes, you had promised Acha Din, good days for farmers. And what is that good days, sir? Sir, the National Crime Records Bureau states 2015-16, there has been 12,602 farmers' suicides. And compared to 2014-15, it is an increase of 42%. And sir, in Maharashtra alone, 4,291 farmers were committed suicide. This is the ever highest figure in our history. This is the good days that you have offered. And when somebody is raising the question of the suicide of farmers, what is your response? You are saying that farmers are committing suicide because of the failure in love affair and due to impotency. That is what you are saying. And we have got a state minister saying that those farmers committing suicide are cowards and criminals. How are you going to address the question of farmer suicide? Don't put the blame on farmers. Unfortunately, you are doing that. It has already been said here in the house itself. It has already been said. You can go through the records. And sir, you have promised 50% profit over and above the cost of production. And what is the situation? I had asked a question in this house whether the government is going to implement the promise that you made in your election manifesto so far as ensuring 50% profit is concerned. What is the answer? It was an emphatic no. Emphatic no. And explain. Yeah, that is what I am saying. And explain that if it is being implemented, the private players will be compelled to run away from the market. Sir, whom are you concerned about? Are you concerned about the suicide, the farmers who are suiciding? Or are you concerned about the private players, the Adanis and Ambanis, Tesco, Walmart and Wilmar, etc.? Are you concerned about that? You must explain that, sir. And, sir, why it is happening? Sir, we all are saying that on the one side we are talking about the price rise when you are going to market and purchase something. When we know that there is a huge price rise. At the same time, on the other side, farmers are saying we are not getting any prices. Sir, what does it mean? It means that prices are there for the commodities. But at the same time, those prices are not going to the farmers who are producing those products. These prices are being looted by the middleman, the corporates. How? Through your speculative business, futures trading. Your futures trading and speculative trading paves way for price rise in a speculative manner, which ultimately denies the right of the farmers. And also your import policy that leads to the farmers not getting even the remunerative prices. I can tell you the example, that has already been explained here. That import duty on wheat, and that also at a time when there is a bumper production of wheat exists. And at that time, you have slashed the import duty on wheat from 25% to 0%. Why, sir? Why did you do that? Why did you allow the foreign players and those who import commodities from foreign countries to import and dump wheat in our country that ultimately led to the farmers not getting even the MSP, minimum support price? What did you make? What arrangement that you make to ensure MSP or procure wheat? Did you make any arrangement to procure wheat at that time when farmers are compelled to sell out wheat at distressed price? No, sir. So whom are you serving for? Are you serving the interest of the farmers or are you serving the corporates? Unfortunately, sir, their policy is serving the corporates only, not the farmers. That is one of the important reasons for the suicide. Sir, and again, you have said that you are going to link MNREG with agriculture sector, but unfortunately you have slashed budgetary allocation for MNREG. And as per the Act, you have to pay back the wages within a fortnight period, whether the workers are getting the wages on time. No, sir. The central government is yet to transfer 20,000 crores of rupees to the states, so in the head of MNREG. So they are destroying the very concept of providing jobs to the people, and that also affects the agrarian sector, sir. And Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, which has already been explained here. Sir, the premium, sir, in 2016-17, 2006, sir, three more minutes, sir. 3 more minutes.
Take
please.
2 more minutes, okay.
2016-17, total premium that has been collected is 21,500 rupees. And what is the disbursed amount? During this same period, it is only 714.14 crores. What does it mean? You have allowed the insurance companies to loot the government, to loot the farmers with a tune of 20,000 crores. And you are saying that we have made such a yojana. Yes, you have got lot many yojana, which is prefixed with Pradhan Mantri. Lot many yojana. 11 or 12 yojanas are there. But irrespective of all these yojanas, why the farmers are committing suicide, that you have to think of it. Because you are allowing the corporates to loot the farmers. And, sir, so far as the Kerala is concerned, sir, we have been demanding.
Okay.
The rubber farmers are getting only 100 rupees nowadays. Earlier in 2011, they were getting 243 rupees. Now it is around 100 rupees. Why, sir? Because of the import duties, import policy. These tire manufacturers were allowed to import rubber from international market, Bangkok market, with a cheaper import duty that amount to the devastated situation so far as the rubber farmers are concerned. And we have been demanding for what is the result? Farmers are on the verge of suicide. And at the same time, the tire manufacturer, you go through the records, their profit is getting increased day by day. They are making huge profit. And you are allowing the tire manufacturers to loot the farmers. And that is what your policy is. And sir, you are so concerned about the non-performing assets caused by corporates, and you are ready to write off. Yes, our finance minister time and again used to say that it is not waiver, but it is only a book adjustment. Whatever may be the case, you are ready to write off the NPS made by the corporates. And it is to a tune of lakhs of crores of rupees. And what about the loans taken by the poor farmers who are committing suicide?
Okay.
Why don't you go for a loan waiver so far as the farmers' loans are
Okay,
concerned?
please.
You are more concerned about corporate loans. You are ready to adjust,
All right.
write off corporate loans. And I am requesting through you, sir.
Okay, fine.
I am requesting you. This is very important
All right.
issue.
Okay.
Sir, this is very important issue.
I
The
agree,
government
it's
is
very
not
important.
concerned about that. When farmers are committing suicide, the cry of farmers are falling in the deaf ears, and they are not ready to listen. They are not ready to see the
Yes,
agony of the farmers.
Minister should
And I am
listen.
requesting them
Okay.
to see the agony of the farmers and
All right.
come with a loan waiver
Okay, thank
and
you.
change your policies. Whatever change policies that you are putting
Okay,
forward
thank you.
for the corporates, change those policies.
Thank you.
And that is the only way to address this question.
Okay, thank you.
sir.
Sri Prasanna.